In this breaking story, or should I say stories, I have the latest bombshell in Donald Trump's sex scandal hush money trial from the Manhattan District Attorney, and at the same time, Team Trump is signaling their path of retribution against the same DA as a result of another recent but unrelated high-profile case. It's a bit tangled, but I have the latest coverage on both and clarity for you next. At the center of both stories is Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who is trying to hold Trump to the conviction related to the hush money scheme that covered up his hotel rendezvous with Stormy Daniels, while at the same time Trump argues that he has presidential immunity. And I have the breakdown on that story in just a minute. But first, this other breaking story has reached a head. It's a local story that has been getting national headlines, and it's not something that a president would normally insert himself into. But have a listen as Trump advisor Alina Habba spills the beans on how they might weaponize this case for Trump's revenge.
Alvin Bragg, the prosecutor, brought this case against Daniel Penny in the chokehold case against when Jordan Neely was in the subway causing mayhem. Daniel Penny puts him in a chokehold, and then we have this trial. So here's a headline from the Free Press. Daniel Penny's innocence and the shame of Alvin Bragg. A just verdict for Danny Penny does not erase the cynical, wrong-headed, and unwarranted prosecution.
This was an atrocity, and I think that is a very well-stated headline. Alvin Bragg is a disgrace. I have said that for years. I have said that under what he did to President Trump, and I can assure you as counselor to the president, when I get in the administration, I will make sure that this does not happen again. It is very disturbing to me. We have Pam Bondi in the Attorney General's office. She's going to be tremendous. We have people making sure that these types of attacks on individuals, while migrants run loose, while people can't go to parks, while people are afraid to take subways, that this exact thing does not happen. Alvin Bragg has made a shame of New York. He has ruined our city, and it is really, we have no place for it in America anymore. And I can assure you, on January 21st, I will definitely be putting my head down to make sure whatever we need to do to make sure this does not happen again.
And in this video, Fox gives some airtime to a New York City Republican council member who calls on President-elect Trump to launch a civil rights probe, and she doesn't say it, but I will, so Trump can one day say, "It wasn't my idea, New Yorkers demanded it."
Well, police didn't arrest him after interviewing him for 10 days because they saw what the jury ultimately decided, that Daniel Penny is an innocent man. And that's where your call for the incoming Trump administration to launch a federal civil rights probe into the Manhattan DA. So tell us about that.
Well, it's really simple. I mean, the Manhattan DA has made this racial. We have seen what AG Bragg has been capable and has tried to pursue. And I think between Trump and now this is the icing on the cake with Penny, convicted at any cost. They make it a vendetta. He is definitely political. This is politicized. And I think he needs to be investigated.
So why is Team Trump winding up to attack DA Alvin Bragg? Well, it just might be because of Bragg's relentless pursuit for justice against Trump in the hush money case. He's been busy trying to convince Justice Juan Merchan not to throw out the 34-count conviction that jurors delivered, while Trump attempts to hide behind presidential immunity. Here's the latest from NBC, and it includes a unique twist about Trump's legal team.
Right now in Manhattan, the district attorney overseeing President-elect Trump's hush money case is asking a judge not to dismiss the case. There's Alvin Bragg, the only prosecutor to win a conviction against Mr. Trump. The 79-page filing argues that there is no grounds for relief because immunity does not apply in the state case since the 34 charges he was convicted on happened before his first term. What do we know about the status of that case, that state case? How hard will President-elect Trump fight to get that one thrown out?
Well, we're still awaiting a decision from Judge Merchan in that case. So what you have from Bragg is essentially an argument that there's no such thing as president-elect immunity and that Donald Trump shouldn't get to just throw out his guilty verdict here because he was elected president of the United States. The DA arguing that they're willing to wait till the end of a 4-year term to see justice concluded in this case with a sentencing. We'll see if that argument is persuasive to Merchan. Bragg lays out a couple of different ways in which this could be done. As for Trump's defense team, they've argued that all of this case needs to be thrown out from the beginning. The interesting wrinkle here is that several of Trump's defense lawyers have been tapped for positions inside his administration. If and when they get confirmed, they'd essentially be out of the game until the administration is over or until their service there concludes as well. But bottom line, Tom, this is going to come down to Judge Merchan and the decision he makes after pushing back this sentencing all the way from July till now.
Yeah.
A Politico article added that Bragg's office conceded in a court filing that Trump cannot be sentenced while he is president, and that Merchan can use various mechanisms to preserve the guilty verdict while taking steps to shield Trump from consequences that could hinder his ability to focus on his presidential duties. There are many reasons this case is important to our democracy, and I'll leave you with two. First, there should be no political position that places someone permanently above the law, especially for actions they took as a private citizen. And second, the public's faith in the justice system rests on the belief that it applies equally to everyone. So let's wish Alvin Bragg luck in fighting the good fight while avoiding the Trump counterattack that is sure to come.